Yo, crypto nation and mining family, how's it going? Hope you guys all had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, all that good stuff. Hopefully, all your family festivities was amazing, uneventful, and everybody has their health and well-being with them as we go sliding in to the end of the year, the new year. Who would have thought? This year flew by, and while this year was flying by, so did the GPU profitability went flying on down. I mean, as we know, mining is for the most part. If you are a hobbyist miner, bless your heart. Um, I don't have the extra funds myself to be GPU mining anymore. So if you guys are looking for GPUs, I got 30 series. I pretty much I stopped at the 30 series just because the writing was starting to be on the wall about what was going on with the market. So if you guys are looking for upgrading your own PCs or something like that, get a hold of me in a Discord. Links are always down below. So let's go ahead and dive into things. I know it's been a hot minute since you see me. It's I've been working a whole lot. It's been since November, whenever I just gotten the BitX and I was doing all those awesome modifications and everything on there. Um, it it's like it's harder to do content when you got a your full-time job is an auto mechanic. I ought to bring you guys out into the shop while I'm working out there, and then we can all hang out while I'm working on cars. It's not hot rods, it's nothing special, it's just daily drivers, you know boring grind. But it's like it's best to have a good grind. This way you can sit there and stack sats and hodl. Just saying, right? So, talking about stacking sats and hodling, guys. Got some more gear. Whoa, thought you said mining was dead. Well, GPU mining for me at least. Maybe not for you. You probably got better power rates than I do in Crookenoise. In Illinois, they decided that they were going to expand with AI. And pass off all those costs onto all of us plebs. Yeah, us plebs are the ones that are going to be sitting there paying for millionaires to play with AI garbage that is not going to fucking help anybody in the long term. It's going to be a net negative. There'll be some positives, but overall, it will be a net negative. And it is already turning into being a net negative, especially here in Crookenoise, where the politicians are criminals and they rob you blind every day. And they figured out another way to do it with our friends over at ComEd, the power company, the oligarchs of power in Illinois, especially northern Illinois, because that's the only place I can get my power from. So if they want to double, triple, quadruple what they're charging me for line usage, the power lines that were hooked up to your house before you bought it, yeah, those lines, they're charging you an exorbitant amount of money. Nope, they're still not working on anything out there, and I'm still getting paid. You're still getting charged an exorbitant amount of money. So because of that, Illinois wants to kind of be like California, where they hate the people unless you're an illegal immigrant. Then they love you. They'll bend over backwards and give you all the money and housing and food that you can ever possibly need. Yeah, gotta love that, right? But back on topic. Back on topic here. It's kind of like one of those things that grinds my gears, because it's like I, the taxpayer, am paying for this because it affects my bottom line for me to be able to participate in the GPU mining industry, right? I'm just saying. So I went from decent power rates to shitty. We're encroaching 20 cents per kilowatt hour. It's not worth mining at any scale at my house. Now, I still like mining. Don't get me wrong here, guys. I still want to mine. It's just now I get to pick and choose what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, right? I'm not going to be, unless, you know, GPU mining like really takes a turnaround. I don't foresee myself really venturing into the GPU market too much now. But what does that mean for mining though? I'm still mining. Don't get me wrong. I'm solo mining, and that brings me up to the gear that I've got coming in. More stuff from our friends over at Solo Satoshi. No, there is no sponsorship. I've talked to one of the people over there real briefly. They seemed like pretty cool people over there, and they had stuff for the holidays that were at a reasonable price. So I took advantage of that reasonable pricing, right? And it's like, okay, what you get, right? You know where this is going, right? So I've got one of these little bubbly wrap things. Let's go ahead and see what's in here. What did I get? What did I spend my money on this time? Go ahead and then one of those anti-static bags, because dun dun dun, we've got another BitX. Yo, now I had the BitX 601, and now this is the BitX 602. I can already kind of see some differences right off the bat. I mean, we still have our barrel jack power. Barrel jack power here. We've got our wireless module right here. On the back side, we still have our voltage regulator section right here with our step-up voltage rectifier in there. And it should be the same chipset, but it should have a little, like, some of the issues with the 601 should be resolved here. It came with Solo Satoshi's their in-house cooler, so we're gonna see how this one stacks up against the Ice Tower cooler. And of course, I've also got the low profile cooler tower on that for this. So we will see about getting this thing all up and set up the same way I have my other BitX. I've got, we'll be checking out power on this thing, how much power I could put through before this cooler is just overcome with heat saturation. Because like we know that these chipsets in this board configuration for the ASIC chip itself, you don't want to go above 65C, because after that, the cooler really doesn't cool the chip enough, and you could start having degradation of the chipset itself, damaging it. Heat is a killer for all electronics. This has got a little bit of a different fan than the 601 that came with. So I do like this, kind of like a server fan. I wonder how loud it's going to be. And on the 601, it had a mini or a micro PWM header next to the full-size header, so it looks like they've gotten rid of that and opted for a full-size header. And they made sure to put a nice little sticker at the bottom here. My camera probably will not focus in on it, but it says assembled in America, because this is an American company. Always try to support your local hasher. I'm just saying, and give it a little paint flick. So I mean, you think that big old bag came for one little itty bitty ASIC chip? No. I got some cool stuff. And it's a little bigger. Woo, what did I get here, fellas? I told you. Here. And it's not nothing big gear or anything like that. Now, again, my electric rate is astronomical, dude. I cannot be running big power equipment. I have Bitcoin ASICs from What's Miner. I got the M30 plus plus. I would turn those on in a heartbeat if I was 12 cents a kilowatt hour or less. The only thing I don't like about that What's Miner M30 plus plus, it's not the fans that cools the ASIC boards. It's the power supply fan. You can hear that thing from a block away if it gets the slightest bit warm. It's like, oh my God, that is loud on a whole new level. You think white noise is bad? Check out that little screamer of a power supply fan. But I can't run those. I'd love to. So if anybody's interested in some What's Miner M30 plus pluses, certainly hit me up in the Discords. I take Bitcoin. Of course I would, right? I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and unveil what's in the bag, yeah. Oh, that's another bag. We're done. They made sure this was super safe. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's another bag. Oh, we're done, right? I know that joke just never gets old. I know. Call me ridiculous in the comments down below. It's okay. It's okay. I'm ridiculous. I'm super stoked. I've been wanting to plug these in without you guys even knowing about it, but here I am. Here I am, out on my own. Yeah, we have a Nerd Axe, yo! This is my first look at a Nerd Axe. Dang, that is nice. Very, very nice. All right, now I'm just like looking at this over. I'm evaluating the board really quickly to understand what I'm looking at here. Okay. So that would be a data point. I bet you that's a data point there that I can sit there and see what the readout is for like debugging. All right. It's actually pretty basic. It's nothing really special about this. Should be 4 chips on here, and you can see the chip layout here on the back. That's all your power rails for the chips. And then right here is your voltage regulator and step-ups. So you got your IC controllers, which will also pair with a way to step up voltage here, because the ASIC chips themselves, they do run at a higher voltage. So their input voltages on there are typically a little bit higher. Even though you have 12 volts that runs through a vast majority of your ASIC hashing boards, they do step them up to 24 volts so that you have enough push of electrons to move through, just in case something hits a block. You know, it's going to take a whole lot more power, and it's going to need it like that. So I do know that, you know, it's like a lot of your voltage regulators, it's especially in this configuration, is going to be a way to step up. Like you have your capacitors here on the side to stop power ripples. It kind of makes it a nice even pressure of electricity going through. And then you have your the little controller chips that are right in front of my finger here. Those are going to do functions like, you know, basically it's going to detect power. It's going to also energize for the ASIC boost. That's basically what Bitmain calls it. It's ASIC boost voltage. Just way it's boosting up the amount of available voltages to the chips. Now, I don't know how much it's going to be substantial for the ASIC boost in this configuration. I know on the bigger hash boards, they will boost them up to 24 volts. I'm not sure if that's what is here. I only see one pad to really see power. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, that's... And in front of my finger here, I don't know if my camera is going to be nice, but above my finger, that is a crystal chip. That's your timing and frequencies, but mostly on your timing. Wow. So we got timing. It's like, so if this ever has an issue, the ASICs are not even going to attempt to boot. That's one thing I never noticed. Wow, there's actually more test points for the BitX, but there's the crystal chip right there for timing. So I mean, all your ASICs, they all have that little chip in there. If that ever gets damaged, ASICs aren't going to turn on. If you lose power out of your voltage regulator at any point in time, nothing will initiate. And typically, whenever I see chipsets dying out, it's going to be like right there. And then hopefully this doesn't run as much voltage as the big bad boy counterparts. And if a chip ever blows out on it, it doesn't take out the board. So I would think that this is going to be a lot better of a quality thing because it's being sent at home. It's smaller scaled. But I've seen some people having issues when they go to lean on these things and overclock the snot out of them, which they are very easily to be overclocked. And I like the idea that we have a nice wide point to be able to mount a cooler, so it's easy to actually retrofit any other normal cooler onto here. And it already looks like these are bracketed in, so I bet you this is something that I'd be able to easily modify for something. I'm just kind of looking down in there because you can see in between there, doesn't look like there's much on the PCB around the ASIC chips on the cooler side. I'm kind of like looking in between there, but very clean. I like this. I do wish they gave more ports for probing for power and stuff. I mean, I see, let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I see 7 actual test ports that I could put a multimeter on and actually get some readings from. Don't do that unless you know what you're doing to begin with. You can easily break stuff with a multimeter because you can scratch PCBs and do some weird stuff to traces. I don't know the construction of the PCB. I don't know what quality this is. I'm able to see circuitry imprinted through the board, so I don't know how many layers that is. So if you accidentally take scratch this, I don't know how easy it is to damage the PCB. So always kind of respect what it is that you're playing with when it comes down to this stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've got going on, and I picked up 2 of these, and no, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. So I've picked up all of these. This is all out of my own pocket. I am not sponsored by anyone with this stuff. I just so happen to just like playing with the small form factor stuff. So if you guys find this interesting and want to see something more, because we are going to be doing lots of modifications to this one, see about what I can do for mods on this, and let's get these bad boys up and hashing. you guys are ever having issues getting your small form factors, if you end up getting one of these yourself, um, certainly hit me up. I will be more than happy to help you out. Setting these up is fairly straightforward. Whenever you plug these in, it's not going to try to hook up to your Wi-Fi or anything like that. You're going to have to take. It's the easiest to just take your phone and connect into this as if make your phone connect into this as if it was your Wi-Fi router. It will be able to communicate. You'll be able to change your Wi-Fi information on here so that it can be seen on network. And then you'll be able to go to your main PC, put in all of your information. And I'm thinking that the Nerd Axes are going to be in a similar fashion. I don't see these being too fairly different. They are all wireless. I wish there was an Ethernet variation. I like Ethernet stuff. Hardwired over wireless anytime, day of the week. But it is what it is with these ones. These ones are made to be put onto your desk, put onto your table, put into a spot where it's a little cold. It's just made to be a conversational piece slash, your little lottery ticket slash heater. So, I mean, it has a lot of different benefits. Now, we all know that, well, it does come with a little stand, which I like. So it's got a nice little stand that it comes with. And then it also, I have a fan to go onto the back of this to keep the back of the chipset as cool as possible too. Because like a lot of people don't realize is that these later gen ASIC chips, especially the ones that they're using on here, like pretty much you wanted to have like a good from S19 and beyond, right? The ASIC chips put most of the heat into the PCB. It's the biggest heat load is closest to the board, not to the back of the ASIC package where the cooler is, right? So even though the cooler is required, and if you didn't have it, bad things would happen to it, they do benefit a lot from cooling down the backside of the PCB. Now, 4 chips, is it going to be generating just gobs and gobs of heat? No. But it's enough of a heat load that if you want to get optimum performance, you do want to have some kind of a cooling solution on the backside of this board. It does help. That's the only thing I don't have in here. It's in the other room. And then the Solo Satoshi, the little one, it has its own little plastic piece that I snap everything together, and it holds it pretty decent. And the backside is fairly ventilated, so that again you can put cooling solutions back here, and it's actually doing some stuff here, But the first things that that I'm going to be updating, here's the power supply. So I need to get some Meanwell power supplies so that I can update these to have better power supplies 100%. And I think I put the other power supplies. Yep, I have the other power supplies in the other room. So yeah, that's pretty much everything on here. Fairly straightforward. We're going to get these up and hashing. And again, if you guys have any issues getting yours up and hashing, certainly hit me up. I'd love to help you out. That's what we're all here for, is to help each other out. And with that being said, thank everybody for being here. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and may your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you guys on the next one, because there'll be more. I gotta update. I have to be able to modify these. We're gonna get these hashing harder. Yeah. See you guys in the next one.